You miserable. I'm not talking to you. I'm just quoting a line from one of the many famous lines from Steven Spielberg's first movie, as far as I know. Isn't that correct? Which was originally a made-for-TV movie that I think the studio or whatever liked so much that they actually later on went and shot more so they could put it out in the theater, which of course is Steven Spielberg's first movie, as far as I know, Duel. This is phenomenal. This is 4 stars. I grew up with Duel. I'm very fortunate to have grown up with Duel. Not that it matters, but I don't know. As far as in my mind, when you grow up with something, it's much more special than, you know, when you just see it when you're frickin' 27 later on, you know, because it's just that child mentality, and, you know, it's just so much. Things are so much more special, like special things are so much more special for me when you grew up with them, you know, because especially being a kid and just liking cars and trucks and just and all this kind of stuff, you know. So Duel, I mean, like I say, I think I already said it, I mean, it's just an obvious 4 stars. I grew up with it, as I said, and it's just, oh man, where do you even start? I mean, it's so simple. It's so simple, you know. Oh, it's so simple. So simple and wonderful. I mean, that a lot of times this is the kind of stuff I like, which is very simple and wonderful stuff. But in all seriousness, I do like simplistic movies where it's just very simple. And Duel is a perfect example of just a guy. I don't know how far he's got to go, where he's basically going to do this, whatever. I'm not a businessman, so I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Some meeting, you know, some business meeting, because he's dressed like, and God, why did they get such a small, because I think Dennis Weaver was he tall? It looks like it, either that or this is like a Micro Machines car, because why did they get such a small car for Dennis Weaver to spend this whole movie in? Because he's like, it seems like there's like a side shot where he's just completely crumpled up from up behind the steering wheel, and it's just like, that looks comfortable and safe. Like, if you get in a car wreck, your freaking head's just gonna so it's just so simple about this businessman taking a trip. And I love the music, which I think is just, yeah, it's just whatever kind of music. But the dumb music he hears, like the music on the radio, like the whatever southern music or whatever the hell it is, the southwestern music. But not only the music on the radio, but I like the music, like the movie music as well. I can't praise Duel enough, you know. I really can't. It's an amazing first movie, and it's so much better than so many of the movies he's done since, which is so ironic. But again, it goes back to the sense of when you're starting out, when you're young, and you don't need. People think you need a lot of money to make a decent movie. You do not need a lot of money to make a decent movie. You just need creativity. And Duel is a perfect example of it. Who knows what the hell it cost in those days, money at that time. So, oh, then his wife is, oh man, what a pain in the ass. His marriage is on the fritz. He's like, she's your mother. God knows she's not coming to see me. I said, what's he say? There shouldn't be a problem. Okay. All right. I'm doing Dennis Weaver. And it seems like his wife in the movie is someone, like some relatively known actress too. He could have at least said something to the man. I mean, practically tried to rape me in front of the whole party. Oh, come on now, honey. Yeah, Forbes, if this deal goes through, it shouldn't be a problem. Oh man, and just how she hangs up on him, and he's just, Uh, One of the things I love about Duel is just and I'm actually thinking of moving to Arizona myself. Not that I don't know where it takes place, but I imagine it's shot in California or something like that. But one of the things I like about it, not that I particularly like the desert, but whatever, I don't know. Then why am I going to Arizona? Because winters in fucking, excuse me, Minnesota suck. And the last two I barely made it through, that's why. And I thought, you know, I was just riding around on a bike, you know, like a pedal bike, because I ride the bike trails, yesterday. And I was thinking to myself, I could do this all year. All year. I mean, this is like, because yesterday it was like 64, 65, and I was riding a bike, and I was thinking to myself, this is what it's like in January in Arizona. I could ride this bike on a trail, not that, well, I'm sure there's a trail somewhere in Arizona, all year. All year round, because in Minnesota you have this mindset of like, okay, between, you know, May and September you can do things. And after that, good luck, unless you want to freeze your ass off. Anyway, this is a Duel review, not a Minnesota review. So what I was getting at is the scenery. You know, the desert scenery is kind of cool in this movie. Just all the whatever desolate desert dryness. That's one thing. You know, being a Minnesotan, you know, as a kid, that's one thing that I like about movies too. Is you can just see different countries, different states, different environments without having to go anywhere. You know, there's so many things about movies that's so great. Someday I'm gonna make a why I love movies video. Probably not in this set. Probably not today, but that's coming up. Why I love movies. That's it. Why I love movies, or something like that. Because there's so many reasons why, and so many reasons I think movies are so gosh dang great. And everything like that. So back to Duel. You know, it's so simplistic that it's almost like, what do you say about it? But perfectly written. You know, to have this perfectly written and realistic in a lot of ways. Maybe not the car chases and stuff like that, but as far as the events, you know, you so desperately want to get a look at it. Even to this day, when I see it, when he drives by the truck, you try to adjust your head as the viewer to get a glimpse of the driver. I might have to take some aspirin. I got a headache. To get a glimpse of the driver, and you so much want to like get a glimpse of the driver when he first pulls up next to him. I think very early on in the movie, and you see his boots, and you see him kicking the tires and all this and that. I'm gonna pause right now and go take an aspirin. I'll be right back.
Ah, your headaches.
Alright, now all it has to do is kick in and start working. In the meantime, I'll get my mind off it by talking. Oh shit, I don't know where I was though. Oh yeah, when the guy comes, parks right up next to him and he's kicking his tires and stuff like that, you just want to see him. That's one of the things that I really like about the movies, is you never see him, you know. And I do think in retrospect it's kind of a cheat, because like when he goes to the diner, he must have not, no, I can't remember, I haven't seen it in a while, but I have it pretty memorized. He probably wasn't even in the diner, correct? Is that what we're supposed to probably think? That, you know, obviously he thought he was, but maybe he was doing something else, you know. But it's absolutely phenomenal, 4 stars, and of course Universal many years ago luckily put out the DVD they did, and they did this cool thing, luckily, and I'll probably see if I can get away with comparisons, to see if I can even do it. I don't know if I can do it, but if I can do it, I'll try. Comparisons, because they did a complete, of course, was what they do these days, or them days when they put this out. They did a complete audio overhaul, 5.1. What they did is they replaced a lot of the amazing lame-ass, you know, period sounds, screeching tire sounds and all this and that of the time, which were used over and over back in the day, with more current, recent, and I hate that shit. I've talked about it before, where I'm a purist in the sense that I think that if you do a 5.1 or you know, remix, or you change audio or add audio, you should always have the original mono available, or original, you know, stereo, surround, whatever. I think because it's like rewriting history. I don't like, and another thing I don't like is changing of the, it's not as big a deal as completely changing the audio around, but changing the movie logos before movies, and before like an old movie. Like there was this, back in the, you know, early 80s and stuff, there was this different Warner Brothers review, or not review, but different Warner Brothers logo that, you know, they changed, you know, which was kind of cool, was like, went like this and that, or whatever. It was the white and then the red. It was really a kind of a cool logo. And they changed, you know, if they put out, like, I think the Shining Blu-ray doesn't, I mean, it doesn't have that. It's probably not on any Blu-ray, that logo, you know, and I hate that, replacing logos. Not every studio does it, but no, I don't think, but a lot of them do. So I might just do an audio comparison. There's so many like old, goofy tire screeches that, you know, really, they're actually really old, from even the 60s or maybe even the 50s, that I've heard in some older movies that are in Duel, which of course, luckily, like, I don't know if I already said it, but the DVD does have original mono, which is whew, cool, because that's the only way I watch it. So I don't know. I think just in order to save time, maybe we'll just leave it at that. Duel for me is phenomenal, and the ending's cool. And I never, you know, I wonder how the hell David Mann, that's two N's, M-A-N-N, got back home. How it got back to civilization. Like when he, like that cliff. How far? I guess all he's got to do is go down to the road. But I actually had a chance. I actually got to see this in a theater, like back in the old days. I don't know if this theater still is open anymore, but in Minneapolis there was this theater where I saw all kinds of movies. I saw Citizen Kane and Magnificent Ambersons in a double bill. I saw King Kong 1933 with a double bill of Mighty Joe Young, I think even. I saw, oh my God, Blowout there. I saw 8½. I saw Third Man. I saw Duel. I saw so much. Psycho, Touch of Evil. I mean, this is back in the frickin' early, you know, late 90s, early zeros, when obviously they're still projecting film, and it was just the most amazing experience. The only thing that sucked is having to go to Minneapolis. But I made it out alive every time. It was the first time, believe it or not, I actually saw It's a Wonderful Life in the theater. And what's cool about this theater, it was like a theater from probably the 40s or the 30s or something like that. So to see these old movies on the screen, which was probably similar to the kind of screen size and theater setup as how they were originally seen back when they came out, was unbelievable. Like King Kong, and I think I even saw 39 Steps there. I don't know if I saw Lady Vanish, possibly saw Lady Vanishes. I don't think so. I think I saw 39 Steps there. I mean, I can't believe the stuff, you know, we saw there. But anyway, gee whiz. I saw Duel there. And what I was getting at, the whole thing that made me think of that, is some of Dennis Weaver's, especially at the end, where he's like, I mean, it's just so funny. It's like, it wouldn't get away with it these days. Like, when he's like, at the end, and just, you miserable fathead, get your fat ass truck out of my way.
Come on, let's go! Come on! Come on!
That's sick, man. That's sick.
You miserable. I'm never going to make that appointment. Now, one of my questions about the movie is he says, like, I'm never going to make that appointment now. And it's like, I've seen this movie a lot, so I don't think, does he ever turn around? It doesn't seem like to me he ever turns around. It's like, even after like, everything happens, maybe he does at some point, and you just, as a viewer, I always get the impression that he keeps heading towards the meeting, even after, I mean, even up until like, it doesn't, I don't think it says at any given point in the movie that he gives up and he's turning around and heading home. It seems like he's always going away from home, which makes no sense to me. At some point you think, okay, you know, my life isn't worth this meeting, you know, let's just turn around. But that's just a side note. But it is something as a writer you should try to think around. But anyway, I think that'll about do it for the Duel review. Very amazing movies, and something that I haven't seen for a while. Maybe I should actually check out one of these days. Thank you very much for watching, and I don't know, just, you never know what kind of a day a trucker is having, and he's got that big diesel rig and all that and this and that, and he can easily run you off the road. So I wouldn't mess with no truckers, man. Don't mess with no truckers. Their life sucks as it is without you messing with them. So thank you very much for watching. Can't beat me on the grade. Can't beat me on the grade.